Check this out, DJ Chuck T here, and I want to hip you all to what it takes to get your music played on radio. All right, so many people feel like their local radio station is hating on them or doesn't want to see them blow up or blah, 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 blah. But in all actuality, your record just doesn't meet the requirements to get played on commercial radio. So Chuck T gonna hip you the game. All right, these are the 4 things that you need to do to get your record played on commercial radio. And this is across the country, all right? Not just in the Carolinas or where I'm at. This is everywhere. So, number 1, your record needs to be registered with MediaBase. MediaBase is a tracking system, all right, that lets people know how many times your record is being played so that not only can they identify whose record it is correctly, but so that you can get paid, all right? And we all know streams pay, they all right, but radio spins pay more than streams, all right? Second of all, it needs to be registered with a PRO, or a performance rights organization. All right, that's ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, GMR, or if you're in Canada, it's SOCAN, all right? It needs to be registered with a PRO, which is a performing rights organization. They are the people who pay you for your radio spins, all right? Then, and this is literally the most important one. I should have had this as number 1. It needs to be clean, all right? It needs to be edited. It needs to be edited not just for curse words, but it needs to be edited for explicit content as well, all right? So no crazy lyrics about doing drugs or selling drugs. No crazy explicit lyrics, all right? And no lyrics that are super duper violent. Now, I know some of y'all are gonna say, oh, I hear songs on the radio where, they say things that are, a bit questionable. Most of the time, those records are put out from major label artists, and major labels got the bread. So, when money is involved, sometimes people sort of turn a blind eye to things. You're an independent artist. You don't have that luxury. Your music needs to be on point whenever it comes to the editing, all right? Then on top of that, it needs to be attached to an ISRC code, all right? You need to get an ISRC code for your record. Most of the time, whenever you upload your record onto platforms with either DistroKid or United Masters or Rock Nation Distro or whoever your preferred distribution company is, they will give you an ISRC code. An ISRC code is nothing more than a social security number for your song that lets people know exactly who made it, when it was made. People are able to see the streams, see the radio spins, all that other good stuff, all right? So you want to make sure it has an ISRC code attached to it, all right? Please. And last but not least, even though this is 5, it needs to be copywritten. All right, it needs to be copywritten. All right, once again, it needs to be copywritten. A lot of radio stations are being brought into lawsuits against artists and labels and producers because they're playing these records that may have not had a sample cleared, or maybe there wasn't a feature that was cleared, or maybe the artist didn't pay for the beat. That's another story for another day. But being that the radio stations pay you every time they spin your record, there's money involved. And if there's money involved and if there's money being paid out, if there's a lawsuit in some way, shape, or form that involves somebody suing for some bread, then that automatically brings the radio station into it because people want their money. All right. So those are the 5 things. I know I said 4, but those are the 5 things that you need to have in order to get your record spun on commercial radio. Please do it. I know it's time consuming. I know it may take a little bit of bread, but it is worth it. Trust me, especially if you're serious about your music. And like I said before, if you're upset about the amount of money that streams pay, then that means you need to get your record played on commercial radio because commercial radio pays more. All right?